You're listening to Cards to the Moon, a podcast about trading cards from both a collector and investor perspective. We hope you'll stick around for the ride as we take a deep dive into the state of the hobby, share some hot takes, hopefully some useful advice, and fun stories along the way. Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Cards to the Moon. My name is Clark from 5cardguys.com. You can also find me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and on TikTok at 5cardguys. It's all spelled out, all one word. Co-hosting with me today for this episode is someone who was also at the West Coast Card Show recently with me. We stayed at the same hotel. We took the same red-eye flight back to Toronto. It's Darryl Chan, aka DC. And I definitely want to ask him about his experience at the show. I already shared mine in part 2 of the 2-part podcast I did last week. But before we get into it, DC, I want to bring up the Dallas Card Show because I know you've gone before. And right before recording, I just saw on my IG that the Dallas Card Show is going national with card shows coming up in New Jersey, Chicago, Houston, and Cincinnati. Okay, and it's put on by the Dallas Card Show. I don't know if this has always been going on, but it seems like it's new to me that the Dallas Card Show, the organizers, whoever's involved, are putting these shows in those 4 cities. So yeah, have they always done that, or is this a new thing? Or do you know?
I think they had done one in Chicago before.
Okay.
Which again, I thought was kind of odd the first time I heard, because when you hear Dallas, you're thinking it's in Dallas, right?
Exactly.
So I mean, doing it in these other places, I'm not sure what the logistics of that is. I mean, maybe they partner with other people there, but why would they call it the Dallas Card Show? That would be super confusing to me.
Right. This is exactly what I was thinking. But the fact that the Dallas Card Show is hosting these events in different cities other than Dallas, I'm wondering, because you've been, maybe you can tell me or shed light on, what is it about the Dallas Card Show? Because I know a lot of people like it. A lot of people enjoy going to that show when they're in Dallas. But is there something about the Dallas Card Show that makes that show particularly unique? Maybe that's what they're trying to bring to those other cities.
I mean, the big advantage for the Dallas Card Show is that Beckett is in town. So they would do everything like on-site grading, so they can also take in more subs for that. And then also, some people come in earlier. Like if you're a Beckett partner, you can submit your stuff earlier just to make sure that you can get your slabs out before the show starts, or during the show and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. I mean, I think that's really what Dallas has going for them. I mean, the barbecue is actually really good too.
Of course.
So, I mean, that's great. However, doing the show in those other cities, I'm not sure what the reasoning for that is. I mean, Dallas does the show every 2 months, which is already pretty big, and the venue is pretty big. But, I really have no answer for that.
Okay. I'm a little perplexed, it seems like, just as you are, because all those benefits you mentioned, obviously those benefits won't transfer to those other cities unless they have a special connection with Beckett and they're like, hey, we could take in a lot of these subs, but I don't know how that might be different from other shows where Beckett's there themselves.
Yeah, I can't answer this one, unfortunately. I mean, I know a lot of stuff, but this is not one of those things I can actually answer.
Fair enough. I know I sprung this up on you because I'm like, I just saw it on IG. I'm like, oh, maybe DC knows and he's been there, but
let me do some investigation and I'll get back to you on the next pod.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. I got another question about Dallas Card Show that you might actually know, because we kind of been hearing the same thing when we were both out at the West Coast Card Show, and we also discussed the whole idea of like, oh, what's it going to be like with these 3 shows, Dallas Card Show, West Coast Card Show, and Fanatics Fest, all happening on the same weekend. Have you heard how the Dallas Card Show did? Because obviously we're at the West Coast Card Show. I was at Fanatics Fest. I talked about that last week, and it was bumping. Have you heard anything about how the Dallas Card Show did this past weekend?
I mean, I heard it was a little bit slower. some of the main dealers that would normally be there
Mm-hmm.
were not, because they were either at Fanatics. I think most of the influencer dealers were definitely in New York.
I agree.
Um, even West Coast was not, it was noticeably not as busy as previous shows.
Okay.
But that only makes sense because there's only so many of the big dealers that would be can be at one place at one time.
Yeah.
Actually, what I had mentioned last time is that some of these guys actually went to Fanatics first and then came to West Coast after.
Right.
I know a couple people that went to Dallas specifically to do grading, but when you're grading, not necessarily, I mean, that's just for grading aspect, not necessarily to actually set up at the show. So I mean, from what I heard, it was a little slower.
Yeah.
That being said, I also heard in the Fanatics that some of the lesser known influencers did not get as many deals done. Like the buying was actually quite difficult. And even in West Coast, I mean, I think this goes all around right before we go to the national, is that a lot of people are trying to gather a lot of inventory. So, they're paying like some crazy number for comps and stuff like that.
Right.
Even the first day at West Coast, and usually this happens at any show, any big show, is that the first day when it's a VIP/dealer night, it's a lot of dealer to dealer stuff. People get cleared out. A lot of new dealers are like, oh, this is great, people buying all my stuff and whatever. But then quickly realize the next couple of days is either going to be very, very boring because they have nothing else to sell,
right,
or they can be walking around trying to buy stuff, except they're seeing their inventory in someone else's case.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's just the show dynamics.
Yeah.
And I guess the more shows you do, you'll start figuring out this kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I think that's 100% true, because I heard one of the smaller dealers said the same thing, that after the first show, when a lot of people got he was getting a lot of his inventory bought out, he had to go home, and he's a local guy. He's like, I had to go home and look for cards to replenish my booth. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I know my booth doesn't look that great, but all my best cards were gone the first day. So that's the situation you're kind of describing. Yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah, and I heard the same thing as you, that the Dallas Card Show, I think I mentioned on the previous pod as well, that of the three shows, it seemed to be the most impacted in terms of how many people attended their shows. But Dallas Card Show, again, I said this before, it seems like they're a well-oiled machine. You mentioned it even off the top. They have a show once every 2 months. So they seem to know what they're doing. They seem to know what works for them, at least in Dallas. And they're already announcing their September show already. And actually, I don't know if you saw this, but they just posted on their IG all the dates for their 2027 shows.
Oh, so when's the first show? Is it in January then?
January, March, May, July. Yes, it goes all the way down to November. Yeah.
Because usually we go to the January show.
Okay. So yeah.
Because after the Toronto Expo in November, we kind of gather our raw stuff and kind of figure out what things to go do, because then we'll do a lot of on-site. I mean, that's why we like Dallas. We go to Dallas at least once a year, sometimes twice. It's just because it coincides with a lot of stuff. Like, the one in September, it coincides with Toronto Expo a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And like that's why we couldn't go in April. Same thing, because it was during that time. So
right.
I love Dallas. I mean, yeah, I love the city too, and the show itself is great. I mean, all these shows, when they're semi new to us, where not everyone knows who we are, I mean, it's actually quite good. I actually like that that access when people don't know. So
interesting. Okay, so you know what? Like I did with the West Coast Card Show, where you guys helped me out a lot. I piggybacked off your experience. Let me know when you guys are going to Dallas, because I think that's next on my list to check out the Dallas Card Show. And
pretty sure we're going in January. I just got to double check the dates that I'm actually in town.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's probably going to be in January.
Okay, we'll see. And the reason why I say we'll see is my wife's birthday, so that might be a big conflict. But
take her for barbecue. Tell her I'm taking you for birthday barbecue.
I remember saying something similar, like, oh, I don't know if I can make it to West Coast. Then you're like, tell them we're going to Disney, and that never panned out because I didn't go to Disney.
Well, I don't know what happened there. That was a great plan. I mean, Disney was right across the street.
I don't think I mentioned this on the pod before. That was the original plan, because you guys mentioned it. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, that'll be good because, it'll be fun. And I loved, what I loved about the West Coast Card Show? That the hotel was right by the convention center. That was very convenient.
Very convenient.
Loved it. Yeah. And, I could go back, rest for an hour at the hotel, make my connections. And then, the plan was to bring my family, but logistically, my wife trying to get off work, and it just became overly complicated with the kids' camps. And then when I realized that it wasn't going to work and they were okay with me just going, that's when I added that New York date. Like, I would never do that if my family came. Just go to New York and LA.
I can imagine.
It's like to travel that quickly. And so it worked out for me personally that I got to attend both shows that same weekend. But yes, I'm paying for it now because I'm still a little tired for some reason. But you guys are pros. You seem like, oh, this is nothing. But
it's only a 3-hour time difference. It wasn't that bad. I mean, we landed at like 6:30 or something on Monday. Mm-hmm. I got home, took like a 2-hour nap. I went to get a haircut. I went to go golf, and then I played a doubleheader in softball on Monday. Dude. And then this morning I woke up at 8:30 to meet my friends from Hong Kong, and we went downtown, and then now I'm doing the podcast with you. So I think it's just, you can do it. It hurts a little bit, but get used to sleeping on a plane. I mean, I can sleep anywhere. So, I got quite a bit of sleep on that plane.
I think that was the key. I just couldn't. Like, I slept like 20-30 minute intervals, which is a drag. So I got tough. Anyway, moving forward, we just mentioned it's like, oh, it's only a week and a day till the national, so gotta mentally prepare for that show too, which
for sure,
we'll all be there as well. Okay, let's move on to hobby headlines. All right, as I tease off the top, DC, I want to get your thoughts a little more on this past weekend's West Coast Card Show, because you've also been to that show multiple times. So how does this one compare to the past times you went? And did you think there was any impact? You kind of mentioned it in attendance because of Fanatics Fest. Like, how much was the difference? Was it that noticeable, or was it, just a little bit of, or just lighter traffic, but it was still busy? Like, how would you describe the West Coast Car Show this time around when you compare it to the previous times you went?
I think the amount of transactions were a little bit lower. That coincides with the number of people that went. Like I said, some of the bigger dealers that are usually there were not there.
Yeah.
So that changes things a little bit. But on the same token, there were quite a few, familiar faces that we see that we've done deals with and stuff like that.
Sure.
The Thursday and Friday were pretty busy, I would say.
Okay.
On Saturday, there were more people. But I feel the transactions were less because I think that the retail market, when they come take a look at stuff, there's more window shopping getting done.
Right.
Or they're looking for cards that either have gotten marked up a couple times since the Thursday, or they're looking for cards and the inventory is no longer there because it got scooped up by someone else. Trade nights, however, I thought were quite crazy. You were there with us on both nights.
Yeah.
You could see the first night, the Friday, it felt like there was more people, and that was the night I did a lot of trading, volume wise.
Yeah.
And then on the Saturday, I think it felt like there were less people in the trade night from the very beginning. But Martin did like a lot of trades. Like, he actually did more transactions at trade night than he did on the Saturday in the actual venue.
Interesting.
So, I mean, I think a lot of people will tell you that Saturday was crazy for trade night, I guess it depends how long you stayed. We left a little early because, honestly, when we're getting up at say 8 o'clock and then going to set up, and then we're there at the show for like 12 hours or what number of hours, 10 hours. And then we go to trade night for like a couple more hours. It gets kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I actually, when I was leaving trade night, I met this couple and we ended up doing a deal, and I stayed up and we hung out till like 1:30 at the end. I mean,
What?
we ended up talking about so much stuff, and like we ended up keep running into different dealers that we all knew, and just
That's
chatting and
funny.
stuff like that. It was great, and we got a pretty big deal done, and we just made a new connection, right? But
Mm.
we ended up drinking a little bit, shooting some pool, just talking about like our journey and stuff, and it was awesome. So always good to make new friends.
Yeah.
And like some of the cards I had, it also helps too, because people are, oh, you're that guy that has this, or
Right.
I might have someone for this card, let me go make a call and stuff like that. So that kind of stuff was really good. I met Rich from Burbank, um, and it was great because like just making that connection in itself was really good.
Yeah.
So we were just talking, and he was introduced to me through I can't tell you their, well, I mean, it's Dang and KK from Sacramento.
Hmm.
So they were really cool, and then they introduced me to him because they were there already, and they had just done this huge deal for this Messi,
Okay.
that they bought. They I mean, well, they cracked it out of the case, but they bought 2 cases from another guy another guy we know named Greg. So there's just a lot of stuff that was happening.
Yeah.
And what happens is, once you start talking about like stuff, and and then there's alcohol involved, then all of a sudden that night turned.
Sure.
I was gonna go to sleep at 10 o'clock, and I go to sleep at like 2, right? And then I wake up super early. But all in all, it was great.
Nice. Now, you know what? Now it makes sense that on Sunday you were just you looked a little
Oh, I
out
was
of it.
toast.
Yeah. You...
I was toast. I
He's
was
like,
we opened the body bag, put out the cards, and my head was down. My head was
I know.
down.
I feel
gone.
like I was talking to you Sunday morning, but you didn't even look me into my eyes. You're like, you just like, okay, he must have had a long night. Because you know what?
Yeah.
It's funny. I did see you making that deal when I was
Yeah.
going back to my room. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
DC's back at it. So I'm like, okay,
It turned from 1 card into like 7 cards.
that's hilarious. But
So, yeah, great meeting them though.
yeah, I mean, it's always the best part about card shows, right? The people you meet. That's so cliche, but it's really true. And yeah, no, I'm glad I went to West Coast Card Show, and I kind of mentioned it on part 2 of the pod. I gave all my shout outs there, and for me, it's not about the cards that I have, because I don't have that many, but it's this podcast. They're like, oh, you're 5 card guys, or you're the guys from Cards to the Moon. And you mentioned that people recognize your voice even from being on this pod,
Yeah.
right? So
Sometimes it's crazy. A person won't even be at our booth, but they hear me talking to someone else,
Yeah.
and then at the end they come over, hey, you're on Cards to the Moon. I'm like,
yeah.
oh yeah.
I know, it's a weird feeling, because and then knowing that there's no connection to us in Toronto, or it's not a friend of a friend or anyone like that, but these guys are just like LA guys. They set up at the
Yeah.
local show, but they listen to our pod week after week, which is kind of
Right.
cool. But yeah, love meeting people at the shows, and yeah, I like what you mentioned about Trade Night. Trade Night was a blast. I had a great time, especially, well, the first night was Friday night, and I do agree with you. I thought it was busier. I think I mentioned to you, or to our buddy Dave, who came from Detroit, that we thought that Saturday was a little slower compared to Friday, but like you said, if you stayed late enough, I guess you were able to get a lot of deals done. But yeah, trade nights, a lot of fun. I don't think I mentioned this either before on last week's pod, but at Fanatics Fest they had a Topps trade night dedicated space. So I think that was new this year, and so I'm interested to see how that went. But they're evolving too with their card events. So trade night. That's where all the fun's at.
What did you think of how it was run? I mean, shout out to Veriswap, because Veriswap puts out that trade night.
Yeah.
And I mean, the organization of this was really, really good. I mean, from the table setups to allowing people to come in and stuff. I mean, we're a little luckier because like we can go in a little bit earlier. Like we'll have reserve tables and stuff, just because I guess we know them pretty well.
Mm.
But still, I mean,
Yeah.
I thought it was set up really well. There's spaces in between tables. You could actually view stuff properly. The
Yeah.
DJ was good. There's music. There's food. Enough food. There's drinks. I mean,
Yeah.
it's run pretty well.
I mean, I don't go as many trade nights as you guys have, but even compared to the national last year with the round tables, that was crazy. It felt a little chaotic to me. Like I was walking
Yeah.
over people, you know, like,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
just seemed to feel like, you know, I don't even know where to start looking. And then, you know, when you want to look at cards and make a deal, like I'm crouching because they're on the ground. Some of them are on the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just seemed,
Yeah.
and so compared that to the experience I had at the West Coast Card Show, like you mentioned, just rows of table. I love the organization already. Even before it actually got started, I'm like, oh, this is kind of neat because I could systematically go through the rows. You know what I mean? And it's just a lot better approach, I thought. And and you could, there was plenty of room just to talk with the vendors if you're interested in cards. And you know, I didn't feel like I was rushed to go to the next one because people are looking over my shoulder like it was at the National when you have this round table, you're trying to squeeze in between people and just to get a closer look at the cards. So yeah, I would grade the one that was run by Veriswap at the West Coast Card Show a 9 out of 10, like at least. And the National will be like a 6.5, 7. You know what I mean? But
to be fair, I mean the sheer amount of people at the National is a lot more than Veriswap. And when they run the trade show, the trade night in Ontario,
mm-hmm.
the room is smaller. Like this particular ballroom is actually quite large.
Okay.
So they were able to fit in a lot of tables, versus having overflow in the outside, because a lot of the times trade nights are happening in the hotel lobbies. And this one, there wasn't any. I didn't see many trades happening in the lobby.
Yeah.
I guess because there was a dedicated space and it wasn't set up. And then also too is when you're limited to the number of tables that are there, they get taken up quite quickly. Like at the National, when you do the one at the Hyatt, the train at the Hyatt, where we were setting up, if we get a table, it's perfect, right? If we don't get a table, like we were like making makeshift stuff like on benches
right.
and stuff like that. I mean, it's actually quite crazy. If you're there early enough and you get a table at like, when I mean a table, like one of those square coffee tables at the National, at the Hyatt, if you get there early enough and you're set up and you feel tired later, I've heard people sell those tables.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Like sell a table is like, give me $500.
Wow.
That's some craziness, right?
That is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. Like you said, just the sheer volume of people that will be coming to a National, like it could be very lucrative just to pay the $500 to set up.
At every hotel too, but I mean, I know specifically we go to the Hyatt a lot. The one by the side entrance.
Okay.
That one is good. Like it's actually quite nuts when you see some of those things there. Dallas Trade Night too, they had the rooms. They had but they have like multiple small rooms, so it's a little bit different. But this one, right out in the open, a lot of stuff is happening.
Interesting.
So,
anyone that went to, any of our listeners that went to the Topps Trade Night at Fanatics Fest, please DM me. I would love to hear how that went. I feel like it was a larger room as well, just from seeing the map. But that kind of makes me wonder, just with everything you're mentioning, how that trade night went, and if there was, because there's certainly a lot of people, but at the same time, not everyone's there for cards, right? So maybe it wasn't
in New York. You're talking about?
Yeah, in New York City. Yeah, at Fanatics Fest. So it'll be interesting to see how things played out on trade night because of those reasons. I also want to talk about some of the cards that we saw at the West Coast Card Show. Let me start with something more specific because, unsurprisingly, a lot of people are looking for Ohtanis. We're in LA, but even beyond being in LA, Ohtani is a highly coveted card right now. And I mentioned this already in part 2 of last week's pod when I was doing a kind of a quick West Coast Card Show recap. But nice Ohtani cards, the ones that are like autographed or numbered, priced very, very high. Like it wasn't uncommon, when I asked like how much does that go for, and it's at least double the latest comps. You know what I mean? And the latest comps was what, a month ago. You know, it was just crazy. And I just kind of got used to it over the course of the 3 days I was there. I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm bracing myself. I'm like, okay, you know, I do a quick math in my head, and it's like, oh, the latest comp could have been 1,000. You know what? I'll pay like maybe 12, 13. They're like 3,000. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? And that was one of the cards that I did that for was actually, this is kind of funny. Fanatics Fest exclusive, Swinging for the Stars insert card. It was a red refractor, Topps Chrome, and I checked the comps. The PSA 8 did about 1,300 US, and sorry, PSA 9 did 1,200, 1,300 US, and then they had a PSA 8. So it was numbered to 5, but it was a lesser grade. And then they were asking $3,000 for that. So it was kind of like I didn't know what to make of it. So and I'm like, okay, obviously there's I'm not going to get to a number where I'm going to be happy, and they're not going to let it go for anything significantly less than $3,000. But
that's crazy though. As a multiplier, I mean, really, an out of 5, I get it where the person's coming from.
Yeah,
they're trying to capitalize on what's happening with Ohtani stuff, low number stuff in general. There are definitely people that are looking for it, and they'll pay like a baked in price. But from a PSA 9 to a PSA 8 and asking like 2.5x, I think that's a lot. I think that's a combination of someone that has their price way too high, but is probably looking for that one person that might just overpay.
Right, exactly.
If that was that at Fanatics, or that was at West Coast?
That was at West Coast, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that person's out to lunch.
So, but I mean, like, I was just using that as an example because there's been similar instances where it just doesn't make sense. But then at the same time, you kind of alluded to it right now. Like, I can't fully blame them because the Ohtani market has been so crazy. And I if I was in their situation, maybe I'm hoping for that one guy that would pay that extra, ridiculous amount. That's all it takes.
It's always because people have like that FOMO. It's kind of like, if I sell this card for X and then I try to rebuy it back later, what's it going to cost me? So right. At that point, it's kind of like certain stuff. Maybe I want to hold it, but if someone gives me a crazy number, I'll sell it.
Sure.
So with the thing about Ohtani, we can talk about even base cards.
Yes.
When we started, like what a base card Topps Chrome sold for last year versus what it is now. Like
ridiculous.
Topps Chrome pitching like 150 right now is like 1,500 US. And then what was it like a year ago? 600? Not even 600. I remember at the last show in Ontario, I had them priced at like 750, maybe 800. So it's doubled since the show in Ontario, and that was less than a year ago. So it's kind of crazy the way that stuff has gone.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that at this show, I had like, Topps Chrome pitching 150, Topps Chrome pitching 700, HMT 32s, like the batting Topps Chrome, like US 285s. I had all those cards.
Yeah.
And like US HMT ones, like Topps Chrome. All those cards I sold like the first day, and then I rebought them at like some very crazy percentage, like more than usually what I would pay. But then all those were gone too, like the next day. Because anything that is like anything sub 2,000 now, and it sounds crazy, but anything sub 2,000 moves very quickly because you're covering the people that are like, you're not average collectors. Right. These are people that don't really collect a lot. They just want to have a card. Yeah. And then I had actually quite a few, I would say like at least three people that came by and said, hey, I'm trying to buy an Ohtani for my kid, or, I'm trying to buy something for myself. Which card should I get? And the first question I ask is what's the budget? Right. Number one. And number two is, what's your plan? Are you just going to hold it, or are you trying to sell it later? Like, what are you trying to do? So, my advice is the same, is like, if you just wanted to have it, then this is fine. Like a base one, but a base is going to cost you, a flagship one's like $1,500. Right. If you want to take like maybe you want the different image, like a heritage 600, it's like, no, $800. $900 or something. No, I don't know what it's at now,
Hmm.
right? But then if you want something that I think is going to go up in value, then you have to buy something more expensive, something that's numbered,
Yeah.
something that has a low pop, right?
Yeah.
And I think at the end that guy ended up buying Bowman Mega Box
Okay.
BGS 9.5
Yeah.
because his budget was like 5K. So, I told him, I go, I think that one would probably be one of the better ones. The only thing I'd say that some people don't like is not an MLB uniform, but technically it's the first Bowman
Hmm.
card.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people like that.
Yeah, no, that's good advice, and you're absolutely right. Once you kind of you look at the numbers that are just out there, you're like, you know what, 2K is not that bad. You just, like, you kind of
Well,
justify it,
now,
like yeah,
yeah.
or 3K, whatever the number is compared to what everything else is. So it's funny how that happens when you're just walking around the card show and you're like, I just want a card. And then you kind of see like, okay, this is the reality that if I want a nice card, I got to pay at least X amount of dollars. And
Bowman batting base is like 65. It's just recently trading at 6,500 US,
yeah, no, and we're talking about this off air. I think it just crossed the 7,000 threshold. And
which is crazy because I
insane.
like those cards were 600 like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
600.
Yeah. It's gone exponential for sure.
Yeah.
So
So I can understand why that guy's trying to sell that out of 5 for that.
So,
I
you know
just
what? Let me segue to this question because I know you ended up buying some Otanis because you showed me every time
Mhm.
I circle back
Yeah.
to your table. Did you have any trouble with any of the sellers on like how to value their Otani cards? Like where, was there a lot of going back and forth or were there cards that were like, this guy's out to lunch, I'm not going to pay that? But obviously you bought some. So how did that happen?
Sometimes people come and they just bring it, and I ask them, okay, what's the number?
Okay.
And I look at the comp and I go, what is a PSA 10 of this sell for?
Mm-hmm.
So is it worth it for me to take a shot at buying this raw one?
Oh, I see.
Because really the money is is made in the grading, assuming it grades out. But even at like when I look at it, I go, well, what's a 9 probably worth?
Mm-hmm.
For an Ohtani that's numbered and autoed? I don't even think it matters because the people will still pay. It doesn't matter what it is.
Okay.
So those kind of things is sometimes when people come and they have a number in mind, I just kind of say, okay, maybe it's worth this. Like, I mean, you can pull up a comp, but a comp from like 2 months ago doesn't mean anything,
Right.
right? You just look at like what the trend is and then kind of come up with a multiplier. Like, what's your threshold? I just think that the auto stuff, especially his older auto stuff, is always going to hold extra value.
Yeah.
So those ones I kind of I put a little bit higher value to, and like I'll just take them just because you're not going to get any more. So if we're talking about rarity in general, it's already hard to get. So later on, if I hold those, they're going to be even harder to get.
Right.
So that's the whole reason we're getting numbered stuff and low pop stuff. When someone actually wants to sell an Ohtani, I'm kind of like super happy, right? Because as long as I can afford it, I think it's going to catch up anyway. So it's just whether or not I'm paying for it now or I pay for it later. So if you're a big believer in that, then just pay now. Like you pay a little bit of a built-in price,
Yeah.
but just trust that it's going to get there. I mean, like if someone came to me and goes, DC, I want to sell you a stack of Topps Chrome 150s at 1,500. That's not something I'd pay. Like I'm not gonna pay like 15K worth of that at 100%. But if someone came to me and say, DC, there's this auto, it's an old auto and it's 10,000.
Yeah.
Would you buy it? I go, yeah. Look at what other autos are selling for. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't even matter now. Like any on card Ohtani auto, what's the least you're gonna pay? You're probably the cheapest you'll probably find is like 6,500 US if you find one, and that might not even be graded. And if it's graded, maybe it's numbered.
Yeah.
I mean, sticker autos over 5K. I mean, non-licensed stuff is selling for over 5K.
So that's well. I'm glad you brought up non-licensed because I know you brought or you bought some non-licensed Ohtani too. So that doesn't matter anymore in this Ohtani card market.
Not for autos. I don't feel that at all. I mean, if you look at the reason why non-licensed got so popular is because people could not afford to
Sure.
buy a licensed product. So what happens is people are forced to buy something else. It's not that it's not a nice looking card, right? If you find like those flawless rookies with Ohtani and he's got a nice patch, old auto. I mean, your friend has one of those, right? If I remember correctly. I
Yeah.
mean, like that's a great looking card. And before, the reason why people might not buy like a non-licensed product was because they thought the resale value was going to be very bad. But now, because if like a licensed product auto is like over 10,000, let alone like a rookie non-licensed product is over 10K, then what choice do you have, right? And then you throw in the people that are really not looking to resell it, just want to have a nice looking product.
Yeah.
Panini's never had a problem with their patches. Their patches have always been crazy. It's just a matter of not having the logo on the uniform or whatever.
Sure.
But I mean, we've seen in the past how even like Topps has done that. They've made some really, really nice strategic photo angles with like Wemby stuff that it looks like a great card, even though it's a non-licensed product. So to get an Ohtani entering that market at whatever, I think a lot of people will just get it just because it's Ohtani. I mean, like I have a Leaf, that Leaf one I showed you last time I picked up in Montreal, that triple Japan auto. And it's an old Ohtani auto, and it's out of 5, and it has Ichiro and Naomi Osaka auto on it.
Yeah.
But you know what? No one else has that card except for Leaf. And to the right buyer, which will probably, I think, would be a Japanese buyer or someone that just wants to have an Ohtani auto that is affordable, right?
Yeah.
You know, then that's your choice. You don't have a lot of choices.
Sure. No, that makes sense. And to our podcast listeners, he said affordable in quotations with his hands because it is all relative at this point. But yeah, no, that's good. That's good. How about for licensed slabbed cards? Because I know you bought those as well. So you talked about raw cards, making sure it grades out, or taking that risk. We just talked about unlicensed, so you might want to pay. It won't cost you as much, so you could flip those as the Ohtani market gets hotter, and people who are priced out of the licensed stuff will look to non-licensed. How about the ones that are licensed but slabbed? What do you look for when you buy those kind of cards?
When I'm buying autos, like I'm trying to buy the original autos first.
Okay.
That's my first choice. Second thing is I would like to get something that's low population. So either it's numbered or just the pop. The pop is very low.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I've had other Ohtani stuff before. It's like there's multiple slabs of this, but maybe there's only like 5% or 10s.
Right.
Like that would be like a big thing if it's not physically numbered, but it's like a short print. So that would be something good. And like really the eye appeal of the card itself is still very, very important to me because you're kind of creating like a demand. Because if you have a ugly Ohtani card, which sounds funny, but if you had an ugly one versus one that is, eye appeal and they were the same price, most people would go over the eye appeal, I would say.
Sure.
Right? Even the quality of the auto. If the auto is broken and it's not like a 10 auto, then maybe you don't want it, because I think the threshold for someone paying 5 figures for a card, they're going to be a little bit more picky than someone that's buying like a $1,500 Topps Chrome run-of-the-mill Ohtani card.
Right.
But once you get into the tens of thousands, then everything is going to count. Right?
Yeah.
If it's a 9 auto versus a 10 auto versus vertical versus horizontal versus Angels versus LA Dodgers uniform, like all those things count because like there's less people buying at 10,000 than there are people buying at 1,500.
Right. Yeah. No, great advice again. Makes sense. And yeah, if you're looking to buy as an investment card, those are really smart things to think about. And so, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So I guess for you, based on everything you said, you're not going to buy or you're not really looking for 2018 Bowman Chrome base rookie cards, non-auto, because what's the population count? I think it's 10,000 or something like that, and half of them gem. It's a 50% gem rate. So, but then at the same time, if you bought it a year ago at 2K, you're laughing because it's going for 7K now, right? So,
oh yeah, for sure, and that's why I think everything has a number, because as a percentage, even if I buy a not so nice product,
yeah,
but the player is good, you'll still have a percentage gain. It's almost like buying a house. Like I tell clients this when we buy a house. It's like, say you want to buy this one that costs like 500K, but it's not as nice, but it's in the right area, and versus this one that's $1 million.
Yeah.
Right now, what's your budget? Because if you buy that one for 500 versus buying the one at $1 million, and say your percentage gain is almost the same, but trending the same way, what's wrong with buying the 500,000 if that's the one that you can afford? So to me, it's like you might give up something here, but if your percentage gain is still the same as a physical dollar amount, sometimes it doesn't sound as sexy, right? If you're making 25% off $100 card, you make $25.
Yeah.
If you made 1,000, you make 250. If you made 10,000, it's 2,500. 2,500 sounds sexy, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's still the same percentage.
Right.
So if you're playing in that space, you should expect just the percentage amount, not the dollar amount. It just sounds very crazy, because when a lot of people come and they try to sell me cards, and I tell them this is the number I'll pay, they go, "Why such a number?" Like say I'll pay $82 versus, he goes, "Give me 90." I go, "I can't. It doesn't work." It goes, "Why? It's only $8." I go, "But as a percentage,
right,
that's 90% versus 82%. Big difference."
Yeah, no. Yeah, you're right. They want the sexy number. They want to say, "Oh, I got this much for it." At the end of the day, right? That's
exactly
that's what matters to them. But
no, for sure.
But yeah, no, you're speaking like a savvy, dealer. So that's good to know for the rest of us. Okay, we talked a lot about Ohtani cards, but were there any other players, any other cards at the West Coast Card Show that were in high demand that you saw like transacting quite frequently?
Kobe for sure.
Of course.
LeBron, Brady, Jordan,
the GOATs. Okay,
like the typical names. Yep. Aaron Judge was actually surprisingly a pretty good. I think people are buying low right now because he is still injured. So now some people are selling it just based off of, if they want to get rid of it, maybe they're into it for less. But for me, I don't need to sell that card, so I will hold it. But I'll buy them on the cheap because it'll end up going up later.
Yeah.
So that's another thing too, is like for certain stuff that is going to go back up, you don't necessarily have to dump it. But everyone's situation is different. Maybe this person's like, well, I only have X number of dollars. I need to clear this to do that. Then they're in a different scenario that they sell it.
Yeah.
But definitely anything LeBron, anything Kobe, anything Jordan was like crazy. Everybody wanted those cards. And again, this goes back to the National being next week. So a lot of people were buying to stock up specifically for next week. I mean, we talked about the Brady, which is crazy because the amount that I thought was like already crazy went even crazier
right
within a couple of days of the transaction.
Oh, really?
That you helped me with. Yeah.
No way.
So I mean, I don't want to say what the numbers were, but if you go look at Card Ladder on the day that we left versus the day that we left LA. I mean, when we went to LA and when we left LA, there is a good 20% difference.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's a few.
And this was a trend for LeBron. This is a trend for LeBron too. Jordan to a degree, but I think LeBron right now there's a very, very big selling window that these guys are trying to get. Everyone was asking for LeBron stuff. Kobe stuff always does well. You can look at insert pricing, like 90s inserts, crazy right now too.
Okay. Huh. I mean, I saw a lot of Kobe's. I gathered that's because we're in LA too. There are a lot of Kobe's. But yes. So yeah, no, is it? And then uh, our friend Dave, who sold some of his soccer cards. I saw some of the higher end soccer cards transacting. He was mentioning
Yeah.
that's the World Cup bump obviously doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
And Lamine Yamal's doing his market's doing well too. So that was interesting to see. We always talked about what are some plays like from 2-3 years ago, and it's interesting to see how some of it's coming to fruition now, right?
Oh,
Um,
for sure.
yeah, yeah, no, it's and then TCG, of course. I think I mentioned it on previous pod as well. That it's just I remember a time when it was weird to see TCG cards right beside sports cards. Now these
Hmm.
vendors have both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
diversified fully to including TCG into their showcase.
I know Steph. Like I think some of the original Pokemon stuff is down right now. So I know Steph bought.
Yeah.
I think she got some gold stars and stuff like
Oh,
that.
nice.
And so she did very, very well. Like all of us did very, very well in our own unique way
Mm,
because we have similar inventory, but at the same time very different. Like me, Eli, and Martin, and then Steph obviously does TCG. So
yeah.
we always set up together, even though we're together, we're separate, but it works out because even when I don't know if you were there for that, but if someone came and they brought us some stuff, I go, this is not for me. It's more of a Martin card,
Right.
or this is not for us. If it's Pokemon, I go talk to Steph,
Mm,
right? And then even like our other friends from Toronto that came and set up behind us, they do some of the lower end stuff, or they do stuff that's not our alley, like Disney
right.
or stuff like that. We would send them to them. I mean, that's how we all help each other out, right? Because we know like this is more this person's lane.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
for sure.
it really, really works out nice.
Yeah, no, that was awesome to see as well. Yeah, and I saw that for sure because I'm like, oh, you know these guys, and then I
Yeah, we know a lot of people, and you just get to know people like that. I mean, even I did that deal with Dave. It was great
yeah,
because when I acquired that Ronaldo,
yeah.
I already knew who I was going to go talk to.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
cool. I love seeing that. Okay, last thing I want to talk about before we close off this segment is, of course, the national. As of this recording, we mentioned it. It's just a week away. I thought it was a couple weeks away, but no, it's coming up very quickly. With the hobby on fire these days, the hobby's doing really well. Are you expecting anything different from the national? Do you think it's going to take another level higher, if that's even possible? What are your expectations going into Chicago next week?
It's definitely going to be
Yeah,
higher from these last couple of shows. Like I said, you can tell by the amount of people what people were buying.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's specifically for the national. Um,
Okay,
the national is crazy because you get all different types of people, all different type of collectors. A lot of high end deals get done, but people coming from other countries too.
mm,
So I think people when you hit that amount of people, it- people want to be a part of it.
right.
It's you've been there, like the sheer amount. I remember when the first time you went, I go, bro, you're gonna be so overwhelmed. And when you went, you're like, holy, what the?
Yeah, yeah. And I remember one of the first content I did was like, I'm just gonna walk the perimeter of the floor, see how long it takes, and then
Yeah,
I had to speed it up because it took a while, for
yeah.
my content. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's just another order of magnitude. So I'm wondering,
Mhm.
having been there, and my friend Dan, who you met at Fanatics Fest last year,
Yeah.
he's gonna experience this for the first time, and I'm like, oh, it's like gasoline to even what it was last year.
Mhm.
So, is there anything you're doing that's different because of this higher level of expectation of what it's going to be like at the national, in terms of your preparation?
Well, it's different because national I never actually set up.
Okay.
We like, I mean, Eli, shout out New Rock Sports.
Yeah.
He always has. He's been grandfathered in it for a long time. He's been doing this for like 20 some odd
Wow.
years.
Okay.
So that's why he's able to maintain a booth. And me, Martin, and Steph, we will go help him like set up his stuff,
Yeah.
right? So like organizing the case. That's why we're going to Atlanta first. Actually, help him do some pricing, and Steph's going to help him with his Pokemon
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But we'll be able to help him set up there and like just prep for that.
Nice.
And I guess our advantage then is now we get to go to the show early, so we can actually do some shopping or whatever ahead of time.
Yeah.
But this is for us is more of a walking show.
Okay.
Just because we like, I mean, I think if we set up, it would be really, really good. But it's different when you're on the other side of the table.
Right.
It's a totally different game plan. You like this one, I feel we will focus more on trade night stuff and just try to find a piece or two during the day.
Mm.
But literally, I think trade nights is where a lot of the stuff actually really, really happens because you're not always dealing with dealers. And sometimes, I'm a dealer too, but when you deal with the dealers, sometimes people get turned off right away. Sometimes people think the price is too expensive.
Yeah.
People come up with excuses. Oh, I got to pay for the table and I got to do this. I got to do that.
Yeah.
This is all true, but there's a reason why people are set up outside in the lobby. There's a reason why the trade nights are so poppin'. Like these kind of things brings a different type of collector because it's not a strictly retail situation now.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
And that's where sometimes like I find I get the best deals at trade night, whether or not we trade something out and someone really, really wanted that card.
Yeah.
Then we can do a deal or like maybe we have the opportunity to buy something because someone's like, oh, well, the dealer only offered me this %, but you're going to give me this %. Well, that's fair. So it kind of works out like this.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
It's a good tip.
But it's a different type of prep for sure.
Yeah.
Because you really need to be able to map out where you're walking and like your game plan as to how you're going to look at stuff because it really is massive. Like you probably have to break down each room. Like you're going to allocate a room per day.
Yeah. Sure.
That's why the National's so many days.
Yeah. No, I've learned that firsthand. And it's funny because you mentioned, when you're dealing with other dealers, it could be all right. Like, when I was at West Coast Card Show, because I was with you guys at the vendor lanyard, and so I feel like some of the people kind of looked at me, not weird, but they're like tougher on the negotiation. Do you know what I mean? Like, so
that's why we take off our lanyards in trade night.
Yeah, no, that's hey. When I was walking, because I did more walking around while you guys were at the table, but I took mine off because I'm like, so I kind of felt that. And to be honest, the first day I totally forgot I was wearing it. Like I was just walking around, and then then I kind of clued in afterwards. But again, to your point, at trade night, I was able to sell like 4 and 5 of my cards within the first 30 minutes, which was amazing. Yeah. So
well, I like I said, as a selling show, I don't think it was an issue because people want to buy. Yeah. If you're priced correctly, like you're at like comps or close to comps, and then person negotiates, I don't know, like 95% or like even 92%. Most of the time, you should have been able to sell that stuff,
right?
Assuming it was decent stuff, not garbage, like slab stuff. People will always buy.
Yeah, agree. Yeah. All right, good talk. Thanks for all the tips, and this is a good segue because in terms of preparation, West Coast Card Show was good because not just yourself but others you've witnessed picking up cards just to bring to the National. So I'm wondering for our next section, we always do this when you're here. It's called Show and Tell. All right. So are there cards that you picked up at the West Coast Card Show that you could show us that you're hoping, will catch people's eye at the National in Chicago?
Sure.
Yep.
I'll show you like some of the stuff that I got. I'm probably not bringing to the National.
Okay.
To be honest, like some of these things, like again, I'm not bringing like a whole slab case.
Right.
I might be bringing like 30 to 50 cards.
Because you're walking around.
Plus, you'll be walking around. Plus, I'm getting some of my stuff back from Beckett. Shout out Beckett. Like they're great. So I should be getting some of my slabs back.
Okay.
For there. So I don't want to overpopulate and have too much stuff.
Sure.
But when you're not set up behind a booth, I don't want to be lugging around a case the whole time.
Right.
Yeah. But these are some of the things that came back. I grabbed. So this one.
Okay. And for our podcast listeners, I'll try to describe what it is. It's the Ronald Acuna Gold Tops.
Yeah. It's a gold
BGS
Topps.
9.5 rookie.
It is. Yep. And, I think like people forget about Acuna. He's like actually one of the best players in each because he gets injured a lot. But this was an opportunity to grab like a numbered rookie of his in a good grade. And, I got a pretty good deal on it. one of my buddies, Bill,
Yeah.
out there. They used to have shop in Palm Springs and stuff like that. So I saw him and we were just chatting and, picked up a couple things,
Hmm.
which was great.
You're right. When I walked around, I saw a lot of, not a lot, but I saw several Ronald Acuna cards were pretty cheap. Like I was surprised at how low it's come down, just because he's
Yeah.
not having the greatest season, injured, but his potential is, as long as he doesn't retire
Well,
next
that's the same
year,
thing.
he should be fine, right?
Well, I mean, it's the same thing with you buying Mike Trout, right? Like similar sort of situation. I mean,
Yeah,
he's a great player when he's healthy, but everything has a number.
sure.
So to me, if there's a threshold, I think like, this card, I got a very, very good deal on. Super happy. I just bought it in a lot.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, let me grab it. Worst case scenario, like, I have another Acuna, right? It's great.
Yeah.
So this one
It's a redemption
is,
card. Okay. Of
it's for Ethan Holiday.
Yeah,
It's a retail orange parallel auto
from the Bowman
from
baseball,
2026 Bowman.
2026 Bowman baseball. Yeah.
So like, like I'm kind of out of the whole prospect thing, but the deal for this was so good. And usually when I get a redemption, I don't mind holding a redemption because the chances of it coming back gem worthy is probably higher than someone else pulling it out of a pack.
Right.
Plus it's a number one, and Ethan Holiday was like, one of the top prospects, right?
Mm-hmm.
So getting one out of 25, I know it's probably gonna be a sticker auto, but a numbered one, and if it gems, I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah, you got a good deal for it.
Yeah. So next one is
Caitlin Clark tie-dye 2024 select WNBA card. And tie-dyes are numbered to 25 if I remember.
25.
Yeah. Okay.
25. So for me, I mean, Caitlin Clark is, is the best WNBA player.
You don't think she's the 11th best guard as voted by her peers?
11th. Well, I mean, like personality is something else. I mean, skill set is
No. Yeah, I'm just sarcastic about that comment. Of course.
No, for sure. I mean, like there are some very, very good, like highly touted WNBA players. Like I guess Paige Beckers would be one of them.
Up there, yeah.
But I mean, Caitlin Clark, if you have any opportunity to get into the market, why wouldn't you try to pick the best player, especially if it's within a range? So this falls under a bunch of stuff for me. I thought the price was right. It's numbered. That the value, it doesn't sell very often. So I feel like the comps that I was working with were semi decent.
Okay.
But a numbered one is always good. So this one, I don't mind holding.
2024 was a rookie year, I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, for me, I don't collect WNBA cards, but if I'm going to collect,
neither do I.
But I'm just saying, if I'm going to get one, it's going to be Caitlin Clark, guaranteed.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like if you don't collect hockey cards, owning a Gretzky rookie, there's never anything wrong with it.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Agree.
So
there he is, Kylian Mbappe. The 2018 Panini Prism World Cup set is a black gold wave PSA 9.
Yeah.
Numbered or?
Yeah. It's not numbered, but it's a short print.
Okay.
I actually acquired this card way before World Cup started. I was thinking that France was going to win or go very, very far.
Mm-hmm.
Plus Mbappe had the shot of winning the Golden Boot, which he did. So this was an opportunity for me because I did this trade. I traded for this card. So I think since I traded for the card, I probably up a little bit. It could have been up a lot more if they won.
Right. Sure.
But like actually the timing just kind of worked out because if they had won on the Wednesday and made it to the final, I would have sold this card already just for someone else to, try to profit off of it, assuming they won. But
yeah,
this weekend was probably a great time to be selling Yamin Lamal,
right.
like Messi stuff, like anything that anybody that would have made the final. Like if Holland made it past England, that would have been a good card to sell. Same thing with Dave pulled that Harry Kane. Like if they made it past, then that card would have gone up in value too. Like, so that's the whole thing with this. Like sometimes you try to time it properly. I mean, I just didn't have access to this card until the show because they went to ship my cards. So like and ship my cards. They go to all the major shows, so I just pick up my cards there. But yeah, this could have been something even better than what it is,
Yeah.
but you never go wrong with an Mbappe card.
Yeah, no, and shout out to Dave Wolfhart's Cards. He's really into soccer, and he mentioned he'll be in Chicago for the Soccer Card Expo, so I think he's going to also drop by the National. That's another thing. If you want to talk to him about it, he doesn't understand why the organizers are planning at the same date as the National. He thinks it's money related, but
For sure it is.
but
Why? I mean, like, if you have something so specific,
yeah,
why not put it at the same time? You're not competing directly with it because it's at a different time.
yeah,
But why don't you try to scoop up extra people that don't know the hobby as well,
right.
for soccer specifically, and try to grab them, because you're gonna get the soccer guys going for sure.
Yeah, and I guess one of the things he mentioned to me when we're at the West Coast Card Show was that these next week and even the end of the West Coast Card Show will be a very interesting time to see how soccer cards do, because the World Cup is now over, and then we still have this big card event at the National. So we'll see how people are going to comp their stuff. But yeah, curious to see how Mbappe, Messi, Ronaldo, Yamal cards do at the National. I'll be looking out for that.
So the next one I have is
Oh, the Muro.
this one. I really like this card.
I like this too. It's the Ohtani from the Topps Murakami collab set that they did, the Tokyo series. It's a PSA 10. So it's a base one of that, right? I know there's colored parallels to that as well.
Yeah, this is the base one. Yeah. I've never owned this card, but someone came and they wanted to trade. They wanted actually a PS. I had a PSA 9 Topps top 700.
Okay.
Which I got, like, I bought from a lot from this guy, a bunch of PSA 9 stuff. So this guy wanted that. He wanted the rookie, and he had this card, so I added some cash and I got it. But it just goes to show that there's different levels. Like, people have different affordability. So some people want to buy, like, can only afford a PSA 9.
Sure.
Right? Or want to trade. And I was like, it's not that I didn't have other Ohtani rookies. It's just that he didn't want to add cash. This actually worked out where I guess he had doubles of this card or whatever, and he traded me this, and I gave him that rookie and some cash. So he was super happy.
Nice.
Now I was happy too, because like I get rid of a 9, and
yeah,
like, I mean, getting rid of 9s is actually not as difficult as people think.
Okay.
Especially when it's Ohtani stuff. Some people think like, oh, maybe I can send it to Beckett, I'll crack it out and get a 9.5. It's quite possible. So, I look for PSA 9s too.
Nice.
Of certain stuff, because you know me, I love cracking stuff.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So this one is kind of cool too.
Okay, that is the Yamamoto from the 2024 Inception. It's an autograph card, and I think the refractor is
a
rookie auto, and it's an aqua refractor.
It's an aqua out of 50.
Oh, aqua out of 50. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, different sets, their numbers and colors don't always correspond.
Right.
Like 50, you're thinking it's gold.
Yeah.
But it's not.
But the patch looks nice.
Looks kind of cool. Yeah.
As a letter.
So,
I like it. So I've always liked Topps Inception. Cool. I thought that was somewhat underrated.
Yeah, Topps Inception is nice. I mean, just sometimes I think they're sticker autos, so that's where sometimes it's a little bit tougher. But as a card, it looks great. So this one is actually really cool.
All right. So
this one I got in trade night. I don't know if you remember me getting this.
No, I don't. It's the Michael Jordan, the Nike one, right?
It's a Nike promo. It's a Nike promo 1986 card.
BGS 8.
But it's got a 9.5 centering.
Okay.
I think this card is going to go up like the other Jordan stuff.
Really?
Very, very soon. I mean, it's not I wouldn't say it's a common card by any means, but getting a high grade for this card. And it's from 1985. So I think this is going to be one of the cards that goes up.
Is it oversized?
It is oversized.
Seem bigger.
It's like, it's bigger. And like, sometimes I get turned off by stuff like that because I don't like lugging them around, and it doesn't want to fit in my case and stuff like that. And you have to be strategic when you put it displaying in your case, but it worked out, but like just the Jumpman pose is like already,
Yeah.
it's already worth it.
Yeah. I like
Very,
it.
very cool.
Yeah, it's iconic.
Oh, I love it. This is the one vintage card I was able to get.
I was there when you got this, the 1952
Yeah.
Bowman Mickey Mantle
Yeah.
PSA 3.
This looks better than a 3. Like the eye appeal on this card,
Yeah.
the eye appeal on this card is very, very good. The centering is nice. The coloring is really good. Someone that commented that these new PSA slabs are just better at hiding flaws.
Okay.
So maybe that's what it is. And again, by no means am I like my eyes are not perfect from a grading standpoint. I'm really good at seeing centering and color, but when it comes to like surface imperfections and stuff, I'm not really good at.
Yeah.
But for vintage, I have a really good eye, like just for the way it looks,
Yeah.
because
No, it looks nice.
definitely this I think was on the higher end of the comp spectrum.
Right.
But the last one I had was a 5. I think I had a 5, a 4 or 5. I don't remember.
Of that
But
card.
this looks
The 1952
of this
Bowman.
card.
Yeah.
And I transacted that in after Toronto Expo. So in Montreal Expo, after Montreal Expo,
Mm-hmm.
actually sold it to Steve, the organizer of
Expo.
of Expo.
Yeah.
So he was like super happy, but like the eye appeal was ridiculous. Mantle stuff, Jackie stuff, like the big 5, like will always do really, really well. It's like a blue chip stock. So Mantles,
Yeah.
Roots, Jackie's, Willie Mays, and Clemente. Like those are the cards I will always get if I feel like the eye appeal is really, really good.
Yeah.
Like low grade, really high eye appeal, those are in demand, and these ones people will always pay. And that one, if I transact or not, I don't care. Like that card is great.
I like it. All right.
This is kind of cool. So this is a
okay.
they call it the Ohtani big head.
Okay.
Because I mean it's the whammy card. So this is 2018
by Donruss. So it's unlicensed, but it is rookie year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is like the case hit.
Okay.
So this card is getting a lot of steam. Like PSA 10s are like $5,000 US.
Wow.
PSA 9s are like $2,500. So this being a True Gem Plus, I will probably crack this. And try to get into a PSA 10 holder.
Yeah.
I just got to figure out at what point, because I'm not sure if I really want to pay $300 or
right.
whatever the on-site fee is for that. But let's see when, maybe I'll do regular service. It's definitely worth it for regular service.
Yeah. Well, yeah, regular service is still open, right?
Yeah. So this card I got before.
Okay. Another Ohtani from the Tops. Was that Tribute?
Tier 1.
Sorry, Tops Tier 1. It's his newest auto.
Yeah. Out of 25.
Out of 25, BGS 9 out of 10.
But if you look at the subgrades, it's only a half point away from a 9.5.
So another crack candidate.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, what's the worst going to happen? I mean, I don't think they would downgrade it, but if it goes up a half point, the price has already gone up. It's an on-card auto.
So you're cracking and resubmit it to Beckett? That's the play?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of times when I buy Beckett slabs, I look for stuff that's like a half point away.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I mean, what's the worst case? It comes back the same. But if you get the bump, it's a big difference.
Sure. So when you look for something that's half point away, is there a particular subgrade that you like? What's a priority in terms of like, okay, this has a better chance?
Surface.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think surface is always the best one to hope for, because centering is measured.
Right.
I mean, very rarely, like, I guess depending on like how the card looks from, like if it doesn't have a frame, like an obvious frame.
Yeah.
Some people, I guess they would know because they've probably graded the card a zillion times. So they know what part of the photo equals whatever. But surface is difficult to look through, like 2 layers of plastic, like the sleeve as well as the actual card.
Yeah.
So I think that one is like, try to GCR, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I think it's worth it. And then if you get it, you just pay, and you don't complain. You just pay the reslab fee. It's worth it.
I might have to try that with. Actually, all my cards
Oh, so
are.
now you're gonna go looking. You should go look through your slabs to see what's only a half point away, because the same concept works not only for 9.5s to 10s, or like 10s to black label,
Right.
or from 9s to 9.5s. The big play is like 9 to 9.5 is a big difference. Even 9.5 to 10 is a big difference. Even 9.5 min gems to true gems is a big difference. All those things could be worth it, right? You just got to figure out whether or not you think it's worth it.
So my what is that? My Mike Trout is a min gem.
Yeah.
Surface is a 9. So should I try to GCR it at the National?
I don't know what the GCR price is there, but maybe getting it to a true gem. So I'll tell you this: if you get a bump to a true gem,
Yeah.
someone that you try to sell that to might think it can PSA 10.
Right. So
I'm just saying,
no,
right?
yeah,
I'm not
no, I
saying
totally
like
get
you're not
it.
being dishonest,
Right.
because these are what people look for. Like if I'm looking for a crossover, I'm looking for, like, if I'm trying to cross
Sure.
over to a PSA, I want a true gem minimum.
Totally get it, because I think I mentioned this on my last pod episode, but I didn't get the Jackie because they were way overpriced, and I don't want to pay that much.
They were expensive from what I saw,
Right?
definitely. Even the
Yeah.
ones I saw at West Coast, it's
My
crazy.
goodness. So we'll see what it's like at the National. But I picked up the Blue Ice SGA Prism
Yeah,
Rookie number to 99, and that's a true gem. So
that's a good one.
and to your point, I'm like, can this PSA 10? So that's always on the
Well,
back of your mind, right?
well, I mean, it depends on your risk tolerance. I mean, you can do it two ways. The first way is you could send it for crossover and see if the PSA just gives you the 10.
Right.
But again, I also mentioned that the reason why I cracked them out is because if you already have it in another holder from another company,
Yeah,
probably less likely, even if it was a
I
crossover,
agree.
probably less likely they're going to give you that based off of, well, if the other company gave you this, why would I give you something higher?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Right. So it depends on your risk tolerance. Like that card is still pretty big. I would say on certain cards, it's worth it. But look at what the price difference between a BGS 9.5 True Gem is versus a PSA 10.
Yeah.
And then you figure out from there. Because from a min gem to a true gem, there's probably quite a significant difference too.
Right. Yeah, no, so you got to do your research, that's for sure.
Yeah. And then at that point, you decide whether or not you think it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
This one, you were there when I got this.
It was the Onyx, right? That's a independent brand? Like, I've never heard of that. But
Onyx is I don't know if that's Panini. Who is this made by?
well, he's looking for, it's the Ohtani Onyx on card auto. What year was that? Is that a rookie year? Or no?
No, this is 2021.
2021 SGC 10 auto 10. It's a nice grade.
Yeah. Now, the auto is great. This card is actually a really nice looking card. But the reason why I got this is not only because it was a cheaper auto,
Yeah.
but it's an original auto, and this is definitely crossable.
Yeah.
SGC 10 to PSA 10, highly likely.
Really?
I mean, yeah. You know, ask Young this too. Any SGC 10 has more often than not become a PSA 10.
Ooh.
My only concern really is that sometimes these SGC holders, because they don't have another layer of plastic on the inside, that if they keep moving around, that they can be damaged.
Right.
But from my experience, a lot of the SGC 10s that I had that I felt were worth to cross the PSA, they've come back as 10s.
Oh.
9.5s are dicey, but 10s are generally good.
Look for some SGC 10 cards that I like.
Yeah, it's possible, because if you look at what the price, like, so do you know what I paid for this card?
No.
You don't disclose, but do you know what I paid for this card?
I don't.
Okay. So this guy came to the trade night and he said he saw these Ohtani stuff. He goes, "You interested in Ohtani?" I go, "Yeah, show me what you got." And I saw his card. I go, "It's non-licensed, but it's an old auto. I'm interested.
Yeah.
What number?" So I pulled up the comp. The last one was he bought it because I looked at the cert.
Okay.
So basically, I saw the price. I go, okay, that was maybe, I think it was 3 or 4 months ago, or like right before baseball season started. So I already know there's an increase.
Yeah.
Based off of everything else.
Right.
So I formulated an offer. I go, this is what I'm going to offer you. It's more than what you paid, so you're going to make money. But it's reasonable for me because I think it's going to be worth more for 2 reasons. The first thing is the price that he paid was before the baseball season started.
Okay.
And we know what the multiplier has been for Ohtani stuff since then.
Yeah.
And number 2, this is going to 10. So as
confident.
a 10, no, as a 10,
Yeah.
the value already, I would have already made my value like tremendously.
Right.
Even as a 9, even as a
PSA
as a
9.
Beckett 9.5.
Oh, Beckett 9.5. Okay.
Oh, PSA 9, I still more than break even.
Oh. Okay. No brainer then.
Right? Sorry?
No brainer then.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. So like stuff like this is like when the pop is already low. I think the pop on this is like a 3.
Oh wow.
And as an SGC 10.
Yeah.
I think as a PSA 10, because someone else was selling this same card as a 9.510, was selling it at the show for
way more.
30% more than what I paid.
Right.
Which means that this card should be even above where they were at, based off of just logic. But again, the value of this is because it has an old auto.
I like it.
And it should be a PSA 10.
That's great. You have 1 or 2 more?
Just 2 more.
Okay.
This one. This is all I got.
Another Ohtani. It is from the Topps Chrome Black. It's orange, number 25.
Yeah. Yeah.
On card auto.
On card.
Yeah.
Nice auto.
Raw.
It's raw.
Okay.
But even if this 9s, worst case scenario 9s, I'm still going to be okay. Because the PSA 10 just, I think, sold for like $14K.
What? That's crazy.
And that was not, it was maybe a couple months ago.
What year is that from?
It's up. This is 2022.
My goodness.
So already, like when I offer on stuff, actually the guy came to me with the number. So funny story is like, I think a lot of people inherently, they think that they have to negotiate everything. Sometimes this is actually to your detriment, because if I negotiated this number and the guy just walked away, I would have lost on this card. So the number that he gave me was more than reasonable. He probably based it off of what he's into the card for, or what he thought he can get for the card. But I wasn't about to let this card walk away from the table. I was like, I'll take it. Right? I don't care.
Right away.
I did make one mistake when I walked to the first day. When I walked, I saw a mantle.
Yeah.
I saw a 54 Bowman mantle, and it was priced under comps. And part of the issue was the grade was a 6, but the centering wasn't great. So the eye appeal to me wasn't amazing. Like a great corners, must have great surface, but the centering just bothered me a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm looking up the range of what these comps are at, and this was at the lower end of the comps.
Yeah.
Right. So he was probably underpriced by like, say, on the high side, like 1,200. So like 25%. I made the mistake of saying, hey, and I'll give you this, like thinking that he would counter and we would meet, because I should have technically just bought it at the number he had it at. He ended up looking it up and he's like, well, I can't sell you this because this is like way below the other comps. I made a mistake. I'm just taking it off.
Right.
So it's bad, like, because like I didn't take my own advice, and it's funny because I call it the Martin effect, because at the last show, Martin did the exact same thing, and he's like, oh, I go, why didn't you just buy it? Like, it was such a good deal already.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. Just inherently we try to get deals on stuff. And then I came back to the table and I told him, I go, bro, I pulled a U. And he started laughing because I told him the story. He was like, man, you're dumb. I go, the only solace I had is that card just wasn't appealing to me the way the mantle that I bought was.
Right.
Because if it was, then I'd be shooting myself in the foot and be like super angry. But I don't feel as bad because I would basically have just flipped that card instead of keeping it for myself.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah.
Good story. Good advice from that story. So
here's the last one.
All right, save the
I don't know
best
if
for
you got to
last.
see this.
I saw this. Yeah, it's hard to see on the camera though, but yeah.
Yeah, it is very difficult to see, but it's a very cool looking card.
Do you want to describe what it is from what set?
So it's a Project 70 Shohei original auto.
Yeah,
and it's out of 10. So
it's like on a foil. Like that's what.
Yeah, it's sort of like all these ones out of 10 are like kind of a bluish foil.
Yeah.
And this is the Brittany Palmer one.
The artist, yeah.
The artist. I mean, I like it because it's an Ohtani auto, it's an original auto, and it's numbered.
Oh, it
so
is.
Can never go wrong with a card, even if I don't grade it or not. Like, I mean, still sealed from Project 70. I don't know if it's gradable. I gotta get my buddy to look at it. But in all honesty, it doesn't matter because it's a numbered original auto Ohtani. So at some point, it's going to catch up to whatever I paid. Yep. It might be there already and might actually be a little bit more, but it doesn't matter.
Nice. I'm glad that we had this show and tell segment because I feel more prepared going to the national. So, like when I went to West Coast, I was just like flabbergasted. It was kind of a reality shock, in terms of where the prices are for Ohtani. So you have to be, especially in this market, especially for Ohtani cards, you have to be creative. You have to look for certain details, especially if you're working within a certain budget. So this is, for sure. I think this is very helpful for not just me, for a lot of people listening to the pod. So DC, thanks for that. Yeah, we'll finish off this episode with our regular weekly segment we call Pick One. All right, you weren't prepared, but I was, so don't worry. Sorry, I had to call you out on that.
Why did you say it like that? It's not that I wasn't prepared. I just didn't want to make a mistake like last time, like pick 2 out of 6 or whatever I did last time.
That's true. We're joking at the airport lounge with Martin. I'm like, can you teach DC how to do a pick one? It's a very simple concept. And he kind of overcomplicates it.
You still pick one. It's just you pick from 4 or 3.
That's true, but I mean, that's yeah.
I get it.
Anyway, occasionally we'll pick one of these 3, but you have 4 alternates. Anyway, okay, I got one, and this is more of a if you had all the money in the world kind of pick one. Okay, so I don't know if you saw. I was gonna bring this up off the top, but maybe this is a good way to introduce the card that just got put out there by Topps. It is the back-to-back gold logo man of Ohtani. I actually put in our WhatsApp chat group that we have going with our friends. Amazing card, dual auto. One is in English, one's in kanji, and is a 1 of 1, of course. It's going to be in the 2026 Topps Chrome Baseball, which I have a jumbo box coming to me, so I'll probably rip that and cross my fingers really hard that I get the redemption card of that. But are you going to choose that one? That's a multi-million-dollar card. We already know that, whoever gets it and puts up for auction. Or the latest, highest sale of an Ohtani card, which was, I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, the 2018 Topps. Was it Topps Chrome? Yes, 2018.
Bowman Chrome batting.
No. There was a 3.3 million sale.
That's a Bowman Chrome batting.
I don't think so.
Super.
It was a superfractor of Ohtani.
Tell me if I'm right.
You are correct. What did I think I was pitching?
Yeah, man. So who wasn't prepared? That's just stuff I know.
You know what?
You're thinking about the pitching a couple weeks before that sold for 2.6.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking about. My bad. But the 2018 Bowman Chrome Superfractor, like DC said, his rookie card, which sold for $3.365 million. Would you take that card? And it's a BGS 9.5. That card or the one that they just put in the 2026 Topps Chrome, the dual auto, 1 kanji, 1 English, 1 of 1 as well.
Oh, this is a tougher one. Usually I'm very, very quick to answer. That was a non-auto, right? The batting?
Yeah. But it is the highest selling card right now of Ohtani.
for now.
For now. Yes.
That dual kanji one is very good, but I think they can make more of those later. Different variations. Another 101 with maybe the kanjis at the top or maybe the thing at the bottom. The choice would be, the choice is pretty hard already, but if it was the original, if it's original auto
right,
and the kanji, I would lean more there.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I still think I would take the batting.
Wow.
Super.
Okay.
And the reason why I would take that one is because that's the OG card. Besides the pitching, that is the OG card. This other card that came out, I know it's a 101. But they make 101s every year. They make multiple 101s every year.
Uh-huh.
There's only one Bowman Chrome. So that's my pick.
That's a good pick. I'm sure a lot of people will agree with you. I'm just looking at the card right now. I'm like, okay.
The card is sexy. Don't get me wrong.
Sick.
I think that card is amazing. But what I'm saying is they could make another one next year with a different photo, but with the same thing. Or like another gold logo man. They can make it again.
But this is like back to back. And, this is the year, right? This is the year where no one has ever won AL MVP and the NL MVP back to back like that.
That's true. But I could say the same thing with owning the Bowman Chrome Super.
So you're going for a Bowman Chrome Super. And it is his rookie card, of course. That's a huge plus.
That's a huge plus. Honestly, like I said, these 101s are nice and they're coming up with good ideas.
Yeah.
But there can only be one rookie Super. There can be many 101s with kanji, can write in French, can write it in German. You can write in whatever you want. But there'll never be another 101 rookie Super.
Give me...
Except for the auto,
yeah. Give me the dual auto. Just give it to me. I'm going for...
Wow.
I am like...
You just did that just to like stir something, stir the pot.
Come on, dude. The only thing... I agree with you that it could be possible that there could be different one-of-one versions of this card. I don't know how likely that is.
I want the listeners to comment in the thread because later on, when Ohtani wins the third,
this is okay.
MVP,
you jumped. You jumped the card.
Clark's card just went down in value because there's a third one now.
You jumped the gun. I was going to say that exact thing. The only thing that could really just push this down is if he has a triple gold logo man.
There you go. There you go. There can only be one rookie Super.
You know what?
There can be many other ones that follow.
I know I'm not the only one. You know why? Because there's a lot of us out there that like the shiny new thing. And this is why we're going with the shiny new thing, all right? Give me the keys. Give me the keys to that brand new Ferrari. Okay? So I'm going to put a poll. I'm sure it's not going to be a lopsided thing. I think
it's going to be lopsided.
You think so? Okay.
I think Clark is just going to call all his friends and say, "Hey, can you just vote?" Like, they don't even collect cards. No. Can you just vote for this one on the poll?
Trust me, I don't have that many friends. Okay, so it's going to be that won't work anyways. But all right, I thought that was a good, interesting. I'll pick one.
You have me thinking a little bit.
Yeah, I'm.
But logic prevails.
Not Hobby Logic. Maybe I'm using Hobby Logic. Yeah, I'm using Hobby Logic.
You keep going that route. You keep going that route.
This is what this podcast is about. We've coined the term Hobby Logic, so
this is true.
I got to be true to the pod. All right, DC, thanks again. Appreciate you. I'm sure the next time we talk, we'll be in Chicago, hanging out, looking at a lot of cards. So looking forward to that. And of course, appreciate all the listeners. Hour 30, another long marathon episode, and we'll have another brand new episode for you guys next week. Talk to you then. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to Cards to the Moon. We'd really appreciate you subscribing to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. And you can also connect with each of us on Instagram at 5cardguys, or you can follow Hyung at Integrity Sports Cards, or John at TradeU at Recess. You can also check us out at 5cardguys.com. Thanks again, and hope to connect soon.